So listen, April Fool's Day might be the perfect college football holiday because like there's no repercussions unless you really get an offensive April Fool's joke. And it's so easy to not have an offensive April Fool's joke. It's really not that hard. I can't tell you how easy it is to just take it easy on April Fool's Day and have, a ridiculous. And two of my favorite April Fool's Day, like social, and it's a social media holiday, really, at the end of the day. And two of my like favorite are either the social media post that's so preposterous that yet like you're shocked at how many people don't recognize that it's an April Fool's joke. And then it's the ones that kind of point out how ridiculous we get about like things that are super traditional, etc. So for instance, a few years ago, there was a April Fool's joke post about Ohio State had sold the naming rights to the Horseshoe to Safe Light Auto Glass, which is based in Columbus. And but it's going to be Safe Light Stadium. And people lost their minds because it wasn't going to be the Horseshoe anymore. It wasn't going to be Ohio Stadium. And I think that's brilliant because it's just like, it just points out that we're like really particular about some things that you probably don't really need to be all that particular about. But it just, people went nuts. And one of the like usual suspects is like, hey, we're going to replace our turf and make it yellow or black or whatever color, red, whatever color you want to throw out there. And, you can Photoshop that to make it look so realistic that people buy it for a second until they remember that it's April Fool's Day. But there were two April Fool's Day posts today that I saw that were like, actually, you know what? I'm kind of about it. I'm here for it. And that's part of the fun of April Fool's Day is that like you can kind of trot out the idea of, and this has happened before, I think business wise, where somebody has said, hey, like a food product, and I forget what it was. That it was Culver's. Culver's did an April Fool's joke where they had, like a giant cheese curd on top of a burger, and people were like, dude, hell yeah. And they ended up doing it. The Curder burger, as you can tell, I might be, I'm up on my fast foods and my cheese curds and all that stuff. But you floated it out there as a joke, and then somebody is like, well, wait a second, this is awesome. I want to do this. And I think there are two of those that happened today. And one of my great friend, Dimitri Ravato's college football bubble bath had posted, basically the risk you run on making April Fool's posts is the joke being so badass that it makes people want what you're joking around about. And I think that has happened. The first one is Florida Atlantic and South Florida. They posted a like, hey, we're going to have a battle of the coasts. And they were going to, have the joke that they were going to play a game on an aircraft carrier. Who says no? Who says no to Florida Atlantic versus South Florida on an aircraft carrier? And listen, if my thought is, if you can play a game on a turf field in like Minnesota in November when it's froze. Now I realize that Brett Favre might not agree that was a great idea, but they've got to be able to make turf field. Like we have technology good enough that you can put a turf field on an aircraft carrier, right? Like we've got to have advanced technologically enough that you can drop a turf field on an aircraft carrier and play that thing. I have to, like, I believe that to my core. Whether it's like the United States Army has developed the technology enough or not, somebody's got that ability to just roll out some turf carpet on a aircraft carrier deck and let's do this thing. Because if you're watching on YouTube, look at that bad boy. That looks badass. And why are we letting college basketball have all the fun? I realize that some of the college basketball games haven't gone all that great on aircraft carriers, but they're not used to playing outside. Now, this image shows, this battleship soaring through the ocean might be an issue. I just imagine somebody that's got like just an absolute cannon can't throw a swing pass because the ship is moving so fast that you can't even, we just got to, it's a service academy game where Navy's got to play Army on an aircraft carrier because all we're going to do is run the football. You can't even pitch it on lateral on the option because the ship's moving too fast. It carries the football the wrong way. But this looks awesome, and somebody's got to try it, and it might as well be Florida Atlantic and South Florida. So I'm here for it. I will do anything I can. So November 1st is when they're going to play. It's a Friday night. You can't tell me that you wouldn't be a little locked in on Florida Atlantic, South Florida on a Friday night, 8 o'clock start on an aircraft carrier. It's badass. It is badass, and they should do it. Figure out a way. Now, the second one is so much easier to pull off, and I actually, I legitimately kind of like it. Now, there's only so many schools you can pull this off with. This works for Texas. Texas don't got the berries to do this, but they should. Utah State, the Aggies, posted a April Fool's joke, and I hope it's not an April Fool's joke. I genuinely hope it was just you know what, first of the month, we got some new uniforms coming, but they're the Aggies, and they posted a tweet joking that basically hey, we're returning and we're going to honor our agriculture roots, and we're going to have cow print helmets in 2024. They are actually those are genuinely good looking. They've got the blotches down. Those are good looking cow blotches. The Texas Longhorns, you are cows at the end of the day. You are cows. Put some cow prints on your helmets. Now, Texas, we talked about people, take traditions and are very particular about certain things. Texas football and their helmets are as untouchable as you can get in college football, in my opinion. But damn it, you know what? If Notre Dame can wear an interesting helmet once a year, so can Texas. And I'm telling you, Longhorns, put the cow prints on your helmets because it looks great. That is legitimately fantastic. Now, maybe it's just I live in an area where there's probably bordering on just as many cows as there are people, and it's I'm used to seeing the cow print, and I know that that's a pretty good looking cow print. And at the same time, every sport that we're the Tigers, we're the Bears, we're the Wildcats, we're the Cougars, whatever. We need more golden retrievers, wiener dogs, cows, Holsteins. We need more Holsteins as mascots because the uniforms can be cool like this. Now, I realize, I wholeheartedly realize that this is a fake Photoshop, that they didn't actually slap some cow prints on these helmets, but the photo of the player with the cow print helmet, it does look badass. That would be a really cool logo. Because there's only with the tiger stripes, right? If you got tiger stripes, or you're the Rams, or the Philadelphia Eagles have the eagles on the front of the helmet, the eagle wings. There's only so many places that you can. There's only so many teams animals that you can do that with. If you over the Cougars, we got claw marks down the side. Whatever. Who gives a shit? But the cow print is insanely unique. All right. There's not, you can't get by with that if you're the Bulldogs, right? There's no markings that are so distinctive to a Bulldog that you can slap that on the side of a helmet, or whatever the case may be. Cows, it looks cool. And I'm here for it. And I hope this one turns into people thought this was so cool that they should actually do it. What does Utah State have to lose by trotting that out on a Saturday Mountain West game. It's going to air on like CBS Sports Network at 10:30 at night that 100,000 people are going to watch. You're going to get a bunch of social media pub in a time when people like really value uniforms and helmets and things like that. Like if you're a helmet collector, you get many helmets. You got to have the Utah State cow print helmet in your collection. It's really cool. I hope that they ended up doing it. Like, I hope that turns into a, you know what? We got a bunch of retweets on that on April Fool's Day. Screw it. Let's do it. Because, like, you don't have to change. You don't have to have special uniforms for it. You got to get some, like, plastic. You got to get some stickers put on your helmet. That's all. It's probably a pretty cheap way to get a whole lot of pub. And that's all those group of 5 schools are doing. It's like, how do we get more interest and notoriety in for our programs? I got an idea. Put cow prints on your helmets. That's awesome. So those are the 2 best April Fool's jokes, best April Fool's posts from college football on this April Fool's Day. I hope you, like, maybe it's just because I'm juvenile and petty. I hope you trick somebody into something stupid. You know, I don't like the whole, like, Caitlin Clark has an elbow injury and she won't play tonight. Like, that's not an April Fool's joke. An April Fool's joke is like turning the volume up all the way in somebody's car before they jump in or whatever. You know, you tie a rubber band around the water faucet in your kitchen and you spray your wife in the chest with some cold water. I mean, that's the fun stuff. You know, I don't want fake deaths and things like that. But you know what I do want? I want fake cow prints on the Utah State helmets. To even come up with that is hilarious. TCU posted a video with their president saying they were going to go from the Horned Frogs to the Squirrels. It was so corny that you knew it was an April Fool's joke right away. But this cow print on the helmets, you could have got me. Because I think it's cool. I think it's a great idea. And I hope they go through with it. That'll do it for today's episode of the Daily Huddle. Appreciate you making us a part of your day, however it is, wherever it is you're doing so. If you are watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you're getting all the great college football content that we're pumping out here on Saturday Glory. If you are listening on the podcast feed, drop a 5-star review. It goes a long way helping out the channel. I'll see you tomorrow here on the Daily Huddle with Saturday Glory.